What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. Thanks so much for being with me. I'm going to talk about 8 nootropic chemicals that if you're new to nootropics, you just have to get these 8 right away. I'm going to break them down, what they do, and why you should get them in a minute. In the meantime, what supports this broadcast are epic nootropic products. Number 1, the Cortex Stack. Look, if you want a stack that just delivers on mental energy, motivation, general brain performance, verbal fluency, the will to work, get Cortex. It's been compared to Adderall, but without the side effects. That's really sort of how we designed it. You can get it at livecortex.com. If you already get Cortex and love it, no better time to pull the trigger on auto ship. I'm traveling right now, so if you guys hear like my cat and like a bunch of traffic, that's why. Go get auto ship at livecortex.com. It gets Cortex shipped to your doorstep automatically every month at the same time for cheaper than the original price. Hey, bud, don't scratch that. I keep telling you not to scratch that. Nootropics Ground Zero if you're new. I mean, look, there's no video course out there on the web that is tailored to people that are brand new to nootropics, except Nootropics Ground Zero. That's why I created it. I wish that there was a course like this when I started, because I pretty much wasted 4 years. I learned a lot in those 4 years. In fact, I learned a ton, but I didn't get consistent results in those first 4 years. I'll save you that time, give you stacks, give you a framework for how to use nootropics properly in Nootropics Ground Zero. VTP, if you are a guy and have to raise test. The goal being tangibly raising free and total tests on the blood work. It's a tailored protocol for you to raise test. And then lastly, look, if you're a business person and you're sort of maybe struggling with how to use nootropics appropriately to get the best results, you just sort of want a professional that's sort of dedicated his life to this. I mean, this is like my hobby. It's my hobby to sit down and situate stacks for individuals. I've done it for myself time and time again, times over, thousands of times over. But also, if you're somebody who just, you're functioning okay, but you want to see what the next level of brain performance is as it relates to business, fostering productivity and goals, etc., work with me 3.5 months or 6 months. This also applies to people coming off of stimulants like Adderall, etc., and just sort of can't get their brain back and need to normalize their brain and then optimize on top of it. We've got slots open for those of you thinking about pulling the trigger. If you're a business person and have the budget, just pull the trigger. livecortex.com. Okay, so 8 nootropic chemicals that you should get right away if you are new. Number 1, Aniracetam. The number 1 chemical is Aniracetam. These aren't really in any particular order, but you know, of all, I think they're all equally important for you to get. Look, I mean, you're going to need to know how you respond to racetams, and the best of the 7 that we typically deal with, one of them is Aniracetam. Okay. It also gives new people an opportunity to actually notice nootropics, because some people will take a lower dose or even a higher dose, and maybe the dose is too high, not the right choline source, and not actually notice a nootropic, or just take a singular compound and not notice it. It would be difficult if you're dosing it correctly not to notice Aniracetam. So if you're new to nootropics, get some Aniracetam, and you should probably get powder. You should get a scale, a milligram scale, and a 00 capsule maker and 00 capsules. I recently found on Amazon, it's sort of like a capsule filler tool. I think you should search. I think the search was capsule filler tools, and it's like these small little tools that I have on order now that help pack singular capsules instead of getting a capsule maker. Working memory, mental energy, the drive to work, multitask capacity. That is what you're getting with Aniracetam. Number 2 on nootropics that you have to get if you're new, Oxiracetam. Similar mechanisms of action in that it's a hippocampal cholinergic release and AMPA receptor modification, positive modification, but slightly different effects, right? Some of the racetams are actually cyclical derivatives of GABA, so they are, in some sense, they're anxiolytic. Oxiracetam has the ability to be that way, but at the same time, it is more of a laser focused type of racetam than any other racetam there is, with the exception of perhaps phenylpiracetam. So if you're new to nootropics and you're looking at which compounds to get, I should have just closed that damn window. Get Oxiracetam. That's number 2. Number 3 would be Cdp Choline. Cdp Choline. Ages-old debate about which choline source is better. It really depends on what you're trying to achieve. There's not better. There's just they're different things. I mean, Cdp Choline and alpha GPC are both going to give you some brain choline, But on the dopamine receptor side, CDP choline is the only of the two choline sources capable of modifying the density of dopamine receptors, which is good, and getting you to release a little more epinephrine than usual, which gives you some energy. And cytidine in general, which is sort of part of the element of CDP choline, is a useful nootropic compound in and of itself. Alpha GPC is really only going to raise brain choline. It might do a little work on like growth hormone, and that's essentially it. So CDP choline would be number 3. If you're new to nootropics, get CDP choline as your choline source. Start low and move your way up from there. Number 4 is Alcar. If you're new to nootropics, you have to get Alcar. You got to get some powdered Alcar. All this you should be buying in powder, with the exception of number 6, which I'm going to explain. Alcar is just an energy-inducing, memory-enhancing, processing-enhancing nootropic compound, mostly on the energy side. So it's like this is another one of those compounds that's useful to get if you are just trying to notice the effect of nootropics. Some racetams may actually end up being subtle, especially piracetam, where you only really notice it if you're doing cerebral work and you're like, wow, holy shit, my brain is actually working better. Alcar is not like that. You will notice it when you take it, 25 minutes, 30 minutes after you take it, however you metabolize it. Mitochondrial energy optimization, particularly in brain cells. Number 4 is Alcar. Number 5 is phenylpiracetam. Banned in Olympic sports as sort of a doping agent because it improves your physical performance via cholinergic muscle activity and probably some dopamine reuptake inhibition. It's a very, very powerful compound. You should get powder of that too. Start out at 50 milligrams or work your way up to 250 if you absolutely have to. Have a choline source with it if you deem you need one. But phenylpiracetam is energy inducing. It's like the modafinil of racetams. It is strong. If I just want to turn into a beast and be a little antisocial and get a whole lot done, I'll take phenylpiracetam. If you're new to nootropics, that is one of the chemicals you absolutely have to start with, phenylpiracetam. Okay, number 6 is modafinil. This is a chemical that you don't have to get powder for. You can take by itself. It is incredibly strong at inducing the type of motivated energy that you rarely feel and that you may want to feel if you want to get a long litany of stuff done that you've been putting off. At the same time, just be sort of generally motivated to do a lot over the course of your day and be fully awake. It's one of those nootropics that, if you want to feel the full effect of nootropics, the full capacity of what they can do, and that's not even the full capacity, because you can stack on top of modafinil and things like racetams to add memory elements of that stack. Then just get modafinil. It is a very, very powerful chemical. And if you're new, you want to know how you respond to modafinil so that you can figure out how to inch it into your stacks or work it into your stacks. That's number 6. Number 7 is Uridine Monophosphate. Uridine Monophosphate. If you're brand new to nootropics, you want to have some uridine in. It is working on dopamine receptors. It is donating a little bit of its sort of chemical structure to turning into choline, essentially, brain choline. And it's contributing to neurogenesis. That's the spawning of new neurons. It is the most versatile nootropic compound out there besides perhaps piracetam. And it is, if you can get your dose right with it and a choline source and a B complex and some DHA, and per the Cortex Stack artichoke extract, you will feel like you've taken Adderall, but without the side effects and without the weird feeling. Uridine is just such a powerful dopamine stimulating chemical that, I don't know how it's legal. It's just so powerful. That's number 7. You want to have uridine in the mix. You want to fuss with uridine. You want to figure out your doses on uridine, what it stacks well with for you, and how to properly use it. Last chemical that you should get if you're brand new to nootropics is Dynamine. Methylliberine. It is essentially caffeine on steroids, but in a way which does not overstimulate you if you dose it higher, right? It sort of just tends to keep that overstimulation in check. It's a really interesting chemical. It's working on adenosine receptor function and some dopamine receptor function mildly. But it just happens to hit you in the stimulant way that does not bring on that uncomfortable stimulated feeling. Dynamine. And you don't have to take a whole lot of it. And if you drink a little coffee, maybe take some theanine and throw down a dose of 100 milligrams or 200 milligrams of Dynamine, and in a lot of cases, it's all you'll need to get through 4 or 5 hours of work and start your day and being productive, okay? So those are the 8 chemicals that I would have you get right away if you were new to nootropics. If you're brand new and you want to start experimenting, get Aniracetam, get Oxiracetam, get Cdp Choline, get Alcar, get Phenylpiracetam, get Modafinil, get Uridine, and get Dynamine. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Look, go to livecortex.com, support this podcast, but also get some epic nootropic products. Number one, the Cortex Stack. I mean, this is the kind of stack that it's like an everything stack, and it's sacred when you can find an everything stack, because a lot of stacks are very specialized for particular types of brain modalities and brain performance. Cortex is not like that. It gives you everything: memory, motivation, verbal fluency, central processing, the will to do work, productive drive. It'll make you want to do all the things that you know you have to do, but you really, maybe you procrastinate to get to your to-do list. With Cortex, you just don't do that. You just get to it and you actually feel it. It's the type of nootropic that you definitely mentally notice. Do a singular purchase at livecortex.com or do auto ship. If you like the stack, you should do auto ship because it gets you the stack cheaper, delivered every month at the same time. It's just the best deal for Cortex. If you're new to nootropics and even this video helped you in some capacity, means you're new, get Nootropics Round Zero. It's a video course that I created for people that are new. It's about an hour and some change long, lays out a bunch of stacks, gives you a framework, most importantly, for how to properly use nootropics. Again, if you're a guy and have to race test, we've got tailored protocols for testosterone optimization. Tailored protocols for testosterone optimization. Get the VTP at livecortex.com. Last couple things. If you're a young business male, middle-aged business male, or older business male, either working in corporate in some sort of the IT sector, whatever professional sector, or you're an entrepreneur, and you really, these consults help a lot of people. You've either come off of stimulants or used to take stimulants to achieve whatever you've achieved so far, and you're at the point where that's created diminishing returns and your brain can't function normally, you're not really motivated. We help people like you in the 3.5 months and the 6-month consults, but at the same time, people that are normal, people that are functioning fine, but want to see what that next level is, want to double or triple productivity, want to be able to work for 6 or 7 or 8 hours straight on cue, just by having the right stack. We've got consults for that, and these are one-on-one biohacking results-driven consults where the goal is to formulate a large quantity of highly effective tailored combinations for you, run them, adjust them, test them, perfect them, and schedule them on an ERS, an effective rotation schedule, and address any other issues that we might have to. I mean, we just signed on a guy recently who we're going to work on testosterone at the same time because he wanted to. That's the kind of stuff we do in these consults, 3.5 months and 6 months. Do it at livecortex.com. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Go get those 8 if you are new to nootropics. We'll talk to you next time.